Guys, okay? So everyone's at a different level with this topic, okay? But you want to compare yourself to you and have that awareness as to where you are at this particular level. So if you're not sure about this, maybe draw the arrow and expand it. And I know you know that, yeah? Okay, it's coming back now. Let's go with this now. What am I going to draw first? What's the operation? What are the operations, Ryder, that you know of? What are the operations in maths? Okay, so you know, I know you know, but probably confused about the term operations. Means multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. I know you know that. So what operation is happening between this and this? Times. So here, in this question here, you had to multiply everything that was in the brackets. Here, there's only one thing. Here, how many things do we have here, Ruby? 2, well done. So let's draw an arrow. This really helps, okay? And then you're gonna multiply. So now you have, and put the equal sign, 2 times x plus 2 times 3. What's that equal to?
2x plus 6.
Well done. You guys twins. Okay, so yeah, 2x times 6. You want to imagine this. This is someone, they come into your house and they're visiting you, right? So what they're going to do, they're going to meet the first person and then they have to meet the second person. There's either positive people or there's also sometimes negative people. And you're going to work with them. Okay? So let's say in this situation, are these all positive, Grace? Yes. So that's going to be working with 2 times x and then 2 times 3. That is your final answer. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that is.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So the next part you've got here, open brackets, 4 times that. And then that's 4 times x, then 4 times negative 4. You put the times there, again. Now, you write that out again. You got 4 times x, okay? Now, what are you multiplying here, Tom? What are you multiplying here?
Minus 4.
Yeah, so you're going to be minus 4 times 4. What's that equal to? 4x minus 16. So that's literally expanding. That's the first topic, okay? You have to be aware that you're doing negative 4 times this 4. 90% of people just write 4x plus 16. This is the biggest misconception that a lot of people have. They don't multiply a positive and a negative. Okay, that's on the recording. They don't multiply a positive and a negative together to make it a negative. You got to go back to your positive times negative is going to be a negative. A positive times a positive is going to be a positive. Okay? And a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. Okay? So let's go through that. So let's say you had positive and a negative. Let's say someone punched me in the eye. Okay? Now, they punched me in the eye and they've got one eye. Now, both my eyes are looking different. I'm not going to be happy with that. So, I'm going to be sad. What happens when you're sad? You're feeling negative. So, it's going to be a negative. If I have the same eyes, I will be happy. So, how am I feeling? Positive. Okay? If I have the same eyes, I'm going to be feeling happy. So, I'm pretty cool here. I'm pretty chill. So I'm feeling positive.
So you'd be happy if people punched you in both eyes?
Assuming that this wasn't punched, I'm just like relaxed.
Did you make that?
Okay. No, that example, someone taught me that in London. Okay, and it was a year 7 student.
In London.
In London, yes. So that there is 5A. Okay, that is the most basic questions. I'm going to put this video on pause. And then I'm going to show you something that could be much more difficult.
So now we're on to example 2, simplifying exponential expressions. looking at problem A, all right, here is our entire term. What we do not want with this expression is we don't want negative exponents. So we've got to turn this into a positive. And taking what we learned from example 1, what we've got to do is take the whole entire term and move it to the denominator. Now, if you think about a denominator right now, there's nothing there. So you have to imagine there's a 1. So simply all we're going to do is rewrite this whole term with this on the top, 5a to the third power, because it's positive, that's all right. And now on the bottom, b to the negative second now turns into b squared. And there's no way of simplifying this any further. So this is our final answer. Okay. Now looking at b, if you notice, the negative exponent is in the denominator. So we can do essentially the same thing where we take this whole entire term, but now instead of moving it to the bottom, we're going to move it to the top. So now we've got 1 and it'll be x to the 5th power. We don't need to keep the 1 out there. And since there was nothing left on the denominator, this is our final answer. So anytime you have a negative exponent, all you really have to do is flip it through the line on the fraction, and it will change from a positive to a negative. So now we're on to example 3, which is evaluating an exponential expression. So here's our expression, okay, and we are given s equals 2 and t equals -3. So there's 2 different ways we can solve this. Number 1 is we can simplify this expression first. So we would want to take t to the -2, and we would want to put that on the denominator. So we could rewrite it as 3s to the third, and since this is a negative exponent, we could rewrite it as t to the 2nd power, where it is now positive in the denominator. Then we would take s and replace it with 2. And then we would take t and replace it with -3. And then we could plug this into our calculators, which would give us 24 over 9. And you could simplify that into a decimal or a mixed number if you wanted. But if you wanted to leave it as an improper fraction, that is okay. And this is a correct answer. Okay. The other way you could do this is you could rewrite it, but plug in s and t right away. So you could rewrite it as 3 times 2 to the 3rd power, then have -3 to the -2nd power, then simplify it. So you've got 3 times 2 to the 3rd power all over -3 to the 2nd power in the denominator, because we took this and moved it down, and you would still get 24 over 9 as your final answer. Again, you could simplify that if you wanted, but here in the first method, we simplified the expression first and then plugged in our answers. And in the second method, we plugged in first and then simplified our expression and then solved. Again, either way.
So, you have 3a plus 2b plus 4a plus 3b. We have to deal with each a and b separately. So I will underline the a's in blue and the b's in orange. Because we can deal with them separately, I can start by adding the 3a and the 4a. Then I can move on and add the 2b and 3b. Imagine adding 3 apples and 4 apples. This would get us 7 apples. Then imagine adding 2 bananas and 3 bananas. This would get us 5 bananas.